Right now, a specific book is restricted in 18 state prisons. Yet that exact text sits on the desks of ruthless executives in Silicon Valley. Published in 1998, Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power distills 3,000 years of history into a Machiavellian playbook. Greene approaches power as an objective science. He treats it like gravity or fire, a force that operates independently of human morality. This presents a contradiction. If these 48 laws offer the ultimate blueprint for absolute dominance, modern behavioral science suggests that following them strictly today will likely lead to a total collapse of your social standing. To navigate the modern world, you have to understand how these invisible laws of social gravity operate at every single tier of human society. Almost as soon as Greene's manual on 17th century aristocrats hit the shelves, it became a survival guide for the hyper-competitive music and entertainment industry. Artists like 50 Cent observed that the violent, unpredictable laws of the streets mirrored the treacherous dynamics of historical royal courts. He applied those very concepts to neutralize rivals and build an empire. The Hollywood elite adopted the same mindset. Figures like Courtney Love physically carried the book into legal battles, using its strategies to defend against predatory executives and aggressive litigation. While the laws appear worthless to an outsider, those fighting for their livelihood use them as essential tools for psychological self-defense. To see why these laws are so effective, look at Law 1. Never outshine the master. Displaying your talents too fiercely triggers deep insecurity in those positioned above you. In 1661, the French finance minister threw the most spectacular party Europe had ever seen to honor King Louis XIV. Instead of being impressed, the king felt overshadowed. He arrested his own minister the next day, sentencing him to solitary confinement for the rest of his life. Law 12 offers a way to bypass this suspicion. Use selective honesty. An unexpected act of sincerity functions as a psychological Trojan horse, lowering a paranoid target's defenses. Count Victor Lustig used this to con Al Capone. He secured $50,000 from Capone, held it for 2 months, and then voluntarily returned every penny. The gesture so thoroughly stunned the hyper-paranoid gangster that Capone rewarded Lustig with $5,000, the actual goal of the entire operation. Historical power largely depends on a person's ability to identify and exploit the pride, vanity, and mistrust of the people around them. Today, those historical warlord tactics have migrated into Silicon Valley. Modern tech founders apply these exact rules to scale massive digital monopolies. Jeff Bezos utilized Law 15, crush your enemy totally. He captured the media narrative by branding Amazon as Earth's biggest bookstore, making the legacy publishing industry entirely dependent on his platform to reach customers. Steve Jobs leveraged Law 2, use enemies as fuel. By framing corporate giants like IBM and Microsoft as a soulless Goliath, he positioned Apple as a creative rebel, rallying millions of fiercely loyal followers. Look at this corporate diagram. Greene warned isolation is dangerous. Tech founders ignore that, building proprietary data moats, these defensive rings. As these lock together, they create ecosystem power, forcing the global market to rely on a single, unbreachable infrastructure. Technology has scaled Machiavellianism. Founders now monopolize the very algorithms that dictate the choices and behaviors of the modern world. When these laws are subjected to the rigorous scrutiny of modern behavioral science, Greene's historical maxims begin to completely collapse. Robert Axelrod's cooperation research proves the flaw in Law 2. Over time, the highly connected cooperative cluster on the left consistently outgrows and outperforms the isolated Machiavellian cluster on the right. In repeated interactions, betrayal eventually consumes its own advantages. And ADP career data reveals that rigid deference to a boss actually stalls your earning potential and locks you into dead-end roles. Playing small results in a 40% drop in the likelihood of a promotion over 3 years. Behavioral studies link credit stealing and extreme silence to high employee turnover and lower team productivity. These tactics don't create a mysterious mastermind, they create toxic isolation. With Axelrod's cooperation models outperforming betrayal and career data linking rigid deference to stagnation, the evidence characterizes the book as a specialized manual for surviving a predator, rather than a strategy for sustainable success. If we broaden the scope to ancient philosophy, Aristotle viewed human hierarchies as a biological imperative. Our drive for dominance is written into our nature. Friedrich Nietzsche called this the will to power. He viewed power as a force requiring intense self-mastery, pushing individuals to shed expectations and forge their own unyielding identities. Viewed through this lens, Greene's laws act as a cold mirror, exposing the raw, unfiltered dynamics of social gravity civilizations usually prefer to leave unspoken. True power comes from understanding these ruthless laws so perfectly that you can navigate them without losing your own moral compass. Which of the 48 laws is the most dangerous to use, and which is the absolute most essential for survival today? Let me know in the comments.